Barbara Morris.
Oh, hi, this is Dwayne Shank. How are you?
Hi, Dwayne. How are you?
Good.
Perfect timing.
It is. Good. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm in Los Angeles right now, so it's...
Oh my gosh.
I just wanted to make sure, it's earlier here, of course. But
I guess so. You got up early to make this phone call. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. So, well, great. So now, I don't know if Noble told you, so I'm helping out writing the annual report, the new annual report.
Okay.
So we're talking to people, just getting different perspectives and what we might add into the report. So I just wanted to... What is your title there?
I'm Supervisor of the United Achievement Award.
Oh, okay.
And I'll explain to you what that is.
Great.
Supervisor of the United Achievement Award and Director of Alumni Relations.
Okay, great. So, why don't we just jump in and talk a little bit about it, like if you're thinking, keeping in mind that this is an annual report, and what do you think information we'd want to get across? You want to maybe talk about what your role is as the alumni?
Okay, sure. In alumni relations, one of the things that I do is before the kids leave, before the young men leave, I do a complete resume packet with them. And we discuss, how you go about using that resume packet to apply for jobs. If you apply for a job online and then you get an interview, you take the resume packet with you and you give it to the person. The resume packet has a cover letter, the resume itself, references, and my letter of reference.
Wow.
And they get 12 copies, and I keep them on my computer. And I often have kids call me back and say, could I have more resume packets? Or could I update my resume packet, and can you send me the updated version?
Wow.
So basically, one of the things that I do is get them ready for going out and getting either a part-time job, or if they've gotten their task and they want a full-time job, to have them understand the process. Like you can apply online, but if you want to set yourself ahead of the group who's applying for a job, you have to have a nice-looking resume and a resume packet, so someone could be impressed by, wow, look at what he's presenting to me, whereas someone else just walks in and says, oh, you called me for an interview. So I work with them, preparing them to go back into the community and get a part-time job or a full-time job, and what that looks like. Also, some of the kids, I have a full, I call Barney's basement, but basically it's shirts and ties and sport coats that people have donated. Very nice, they're dry cleaned and everything, and it's downstairs in the basement. And I always say to the kids, do you want a shirt and tie to take with you, so when you go to interviews you can dress appropriately for the interview? And a lot of kids do that.
So basically, I mean, you're the person that helps really, once they've gone through the school and stayed at Lincoln Hall, you help sort of package them to go out into the real world, right?
Right, exactly. I help them to prepare. I'm not the only one that does it. Mr. Hall works with them also. So Mr. Hall and I work very closely together. We talk about possibly when kids are getting ready to leave, if they're interested in a particular school, we'll see if we can get a tour of that school.
So it's really wow. It's such an important job, isn't it? I mean, to help, because that transition is huge.
Well, the transition is really key because they're now used to being in a controlled setting, and they're going to go back home. And there's so many different parts to a transition. You have the family dynamic. What are they going home to? The community dynamic. What's the community looking like? But what we try to do, what I consider one of my roles as alumni relations director, is to let them know, and I write them each a long letter, let them know that there's a motto at Lincoln Hall. Lincoln Hall, you leave Lincoln Hall never leaves you. And we developed that motto about 8 years ago when we started doing transitioning. So they all get that sense, and that's very important to my work with them. I give them my card. I give them all my information. You can call me anytime, day or night. And I get a lot of phone calls.
Wow.
And the phone calls could be, like I say, about resumes. It could also be, I've gotten calls recently, a young man that I had, oh my gosh, probably 12 years ago. He was totally out of control, getting into fights every day. And I remember saying, Marquise, I don't know what I'm going to do with you. And I had to transfer him to all different cottages. And he just couldn't stop fighting. He was from Newburgh, New York. And I got a call about 3 weeks ago. And she said, Miss Morris, it's Marquise Williams. Oh my gosh, Marquise, what's going on? He said, you're not going to believe this. Remember how you said, Marquise, I don't know what I'm going to do with you? I said, yeah. He goes, well, I live in Los Angeles. I'm going to college, and I'm fighting on, I think Showtime or one of those cable channels, the Friday night fights.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was fighting, and he apparently is doing quite well.
Wow.
He loves boxing.
Right.
And I called the college. They said definitely he's enrolled, but they actually needed some stuff from me. So that's another part of my job. You know, if colleges call or schools call or jobs call and say, you know, I need this, I don't have this, can you help me? One young man's applying to, another young man's applying to work as a school safety officer on his way to becoming NYPD. So he needed a letter from me stating, you know, all the positives. And this young man happened to be very positive when he was here. And since he's left, he's been calling me, and so I know what's going on with him. So I wrote him a letter, and I sent it to whomever I had to send it to, the person that he told me to send it to. Called me back. He said, Ms. Morris, I'm so excited. I'm going to be a school safety officer, and I can start working towards my, becoming an NYPD. And
wow.
So
it must be very rewarding for you.
It's incredibly rewarding. It's probably, and I always try to send an email out, because one thing I feel is very important is connecting the whole Lincoln Hall community to, you work with the kids here, but they really are successful when they go out.
That's so
and
amazing.
You all need to know that, because you work so hard with them here, and you don't know what's going on with them when they leave, but they call me and they let me know, and it's often extremely positive. I also run the scholarship fund. I don't know if you know much. Do you know much about the Lincoln Hall Scholarship?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, we just had the golf outing, the scholarship golf outing, and what I do is I always bring former residents up that are successful, and let them talk at the scholarship golf outing. One of the young men that came up this time his name was Timmy Lee. He had his problems while he was here, but he turned his life around, and he graduated with a certificate in minor in business. His focus was cybersecurity. And he is working for Wheels Up, which is a private jet company. You can get a private jet from Wheels Up.
Wow.
And so he works in the city right in Times Square, and graduated from St. John's University, which is a top university.
Yeah.
Graduated with honors. But we helped him all the way through with thousands of dollars of scholarship money, but it was well worth it.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Yeah.
You love those stories, right?
Oh my gosh, they're phenomenal. I mean, I have sad ones too, but
of course.
But no, it's really incredible. So, and that's really one of the things I feel that keeps Lincoln Hall going and keeps Lincoln Hall feeling positive, is when you get those kids who tell you and call back and say, guess what? I graduated from St. John's University. I graduated from Pace University. Or I'm graduating. We just got a call the other day from a young man. He's graduating from SUNY Old Westbury. and he's got a big job in the city. And these are all kids that came here, just like all the kids come here, and they were a mess. And they, we helped them to turn their lives around. But I think the alumni relations directors, the real key is to keep the young men that we have here connected to Lincoln Hall, because Lincoln Hall can help them in so many ways. Even if it's just, I've had young men call and say, Miss Morse, I'm really messing up. I don't know what to do with my life. So, we talk about it and we try to refocus them. But they have somebody who's still at Lincoln Hall.
Well, it's a lifeline, isn't it? It's a lifeline.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And I don't mean to say that I'm the only one that kids call back, because they have a lot of staff that they're very connected with, and they call the staff too. And I always tell the staff, please give me their name, their phone number, so that I can reach out to them too, because I have the connections with the scholarship fund and with all these different things that I can try to hook them up with. I also bring them back on campus to talk to our current residents.
So like role models.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Timmy came up early so he could talk to some residents. They were fascinated. They can't imagine that somebody that's that well spoken and is doing so well. And Timmy was saying, "Yeah, I've met Tom Brady. I've met Eli Manning. My job flew me to Tennessee for the Tennessee Titans training camp last weekend." And they're like, "Really?" They could, but that's the kind of thing they need to hear, and to see that this young man was just like you. Mm-hmm. He was just like you, and he decided to turn his life around. And it doesn't. Sometimes they decide to turn their life around. They try. They mess up, but we always take them back. Well, let's get back on track now. Let's try. I get letters from kids that are in prison. I wish I would have listened to Lincoln Hall. The one thing I remember is when you did this. Or one young man wrote to me. I gave him a picture that I'd taken of the lunar eclipse, and he said, Miss Morse, the only thing I have left from Lincoln Hall is your picture of the lunar eclipse, and I have it in my prison cell. And I mean, even when they're in jail, if they've messed up, that connection back, you never know. He could get out, he could, start turning his life around. You never know. You just never know.
And so, I mean, when you think about Lincoln Hall and what is going on there, I mean, you guys, what do you think you do that sets you apart from other organizations, or do you look at it that way?
Well, I think we are very we're a very personal organization. We are not huge. We don't have 800 or 900 kids on campus, and so the kids we have on campus really get very personalized treatment. And I'm not sure, I can't speak for other agencies, but I'm not sure that other agencies do it quite like we do. I mean, we have a history of, back in the Civil War days where we took, the little boys in and whose fathers were fighting for the Union. And we have a really strong desire to really help the young men that come to us. And that doesn't mean just on campus. That means when they leave campus too. And that's why when we decided to develop a slogan, and the slogan was, "You leave Lincoln Hall, Lincoln Hall never leaves you." We try to kind of beat that into their heads. We're here for you 24/7. If you need us, call us. And I think that may set us apart because we can be more personal. We don't deal with hundreds and hundreds of kids.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful. So it's a great thing. You're in such an important role. I mean, everybody. I've been around Lincoln Hall quite a bit, and it's a tight ship too. And there's so many ways. In this day and age, there's so many ways. There's always somebody looking for negativity, right? And,
yes.
And I know I worked behind the scenes on. There was a big story written about the immigration populations around the country, and just some of the organizations have gotten in huge trouble for sexual harassment and all these other things. I mean, I've noticed that the staff on Lincoln Hall, I mean, you have to be on point all the time.
Right, you really do. No, and that's, I mean, I've worked here for, I think, 27 or 28 years.
Oh, wow.
I fell in love with, the minute I walked in here, I was getting my master's in, I have a master's in education, but I taught, but I didn't like the bureaucracy in education, and it was just too much for me. So I said, you know what? I want to be a social worker, clinical social worker. So I went to Columbia, got my master's, and my first placement at Columbia was at Lincoln Hall. And everyone in my class, my placement class, said, "Oh my God, Lincoln Hall! Oh, those kids are so terrible! Oh my gosh!" And I didn't know anything about Lincoln Hall, and I was a nervous wreck. And I came here scared to death.
Oh, wow.
I fell in love with it, Dwayne.
Yeah.
First day, I fell in love with it.
Oh, that's great. That's really great.
It was like something is so unique and special about this place. It's just there's just something about it that makes you feel like everybody here really is trying to help these young men and FRP kids now turn their lives around and have a future. And we all kind of work together. We all have our different areas that we work in, but when somebody needs something, when I need something, I can call on a million different people.
Yeah.
And if they can help me, I have to say, we're kind of like a second family.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I would say very much.
The staff itself, we're like a second family. And like I say, when I get calls and I'll see somebody who used to work with that particular individual, guess who called me? Oh, wow, what's he doing? How's he doing? Give him my number. He can call me. I mean, I think that sets us apart a little bit. I just think it does. And
what's FRP again stand for?
That's a family reunification. That's with the kids that are coming across the border.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, family reunification.
So now, what's this other thing? The award thing you were talking?
Yeah, a couple. I don't know, about 8 years ago, I guess, maybe 6 years ago. His Royal Highness, the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Edward. He sent a team to Lincoln Hall, and they were great people. And they sat down with us, and I was in the meeting, and they said, we want you to be a part of the Duke of Edinburgh's International Award Program in the United States. So we looked at the program, and I jumped on it. I said, this is going to be perfect for Lincoln Hall, because what you do is you have kids who identify a skill they want to improve upon or they're interested in, a physical activity, and a community service activity. And they do this for 6 months, and then another, I think was 2 more months. And then we've gone to the city, we've met His Royal Highness Prince Edward, they get this award, this Duke of Edinburgh's International Award. It's a great thing to put on your resume, and it was a wonderful addition to Lincoln Hall. And then, as sometimes happens with these things, people that were looking more towards the monetary aspect versus what we're doing for kids. They kind of took it over, and I met with Jack and Noble, and we kind of decided, you know what? This is not what we wanted when we started, which was so great. This is now about money. And we can develop our own program. So they tasked me with the job of developing our own program. So I worked on it and developed the United Achievement Award, the UAA Award, they call it. And it's similar to the Duke of Edinburgh's International Award, but there's differences. I mean, we still have a skill activity, a service activity, and a physical activity. But we also then have each young man who's getting ready to get his award identify a future goal, something that he'd like to do. And then it's my responsibility to try to develop something that he can go to or see or talk to that has to do with this goal that he has in mind for his future. so we had one young man who received the award. He was he loves cooking, and he wanted to be a chef. So we took him to the Culinary Institute. He spent the entire day there. He met counselors there. He just the whole day, and then he had dinner there.
Wow.
And he's now home in Buffalo. He's finishing up his task, but he calls me probably once a week. Ms. Morris, I still want to go to the Culinary Institute. So, yeah, we're going to do it. You got to finish up your task first. But that's the so that piece was an additional piece that I put in, and it's worked out pretty well.
Do you have anything? Do you have anything, like any documents or anything you could email me that describes what it is, the achievement award?
Sure.
You do? Yeah.
I can. How soon do you need them?
Oh, I mean, I don't need it immediately. Just whenever if you can find it on your computer and email it, that'd be great.
Oh, sure. I'll be glad to.
Yeah. You don't have to do it. Like, when do you think whenever? When do you think is reasonable?
I probably won't be able to do till Monday. Is that too
Oh, no, that's fine. Yeah, I'm in Los Angeles till Wednesday, and it's not,
okay.
But I mean, so do you want to write down my email?
Sure.
It's Dwain, DWAIN, so that's my first name.
Okay.
And then it's my last name and the word strategies, so it's SCHENCK, and then the word strategies, which you would believe it or not, a lot of people misspell. It's a weird word. STRATEGIES.com. All one word.
Okay. So it's Dwain at Schenk
Strategies.
Schenk?
Yeah, Schenk.
Is that how you pronounce your last name? SchenkStrategies.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be great. Just because that would be helpful, because you probably have some things written up about it.
Oh, I do. Yeah, I definitely do, and I'd be glad to send them to you.
Yeah, that's great. Wow.
And if there's anything else I think of, I'll include it.
Yeah, I definitely do. And I have your number. I can always, if you don't mind, as we
not at all.
Get down the road doing this.
Feel free to call me. One of the other things I was going to mention to you, Dwayne, that from these programs, the UAA Award and the Duke of Edinburgh's International Award program, we have developed such great relationships in the community. It's amazing. People were looking at Lincoln Hall like, oh my God, there are horrible kids there, and it's like they run away and they've done awful things. I take them to Bedford, to a horse farm, to Friends of Karen, which is in Purdy's, New York, they help children with cancer, to Adopt a Dog, which is in Armonk, New York, and the people in these agencies absolutely love our kids.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. I mean, they're just kids, right?
Exactly, but it was
stigmatized.
You had to work to get your foot in the door.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But the interesting thing is that one of the people, this individual in particular, Linda Myers is her name, and she volunteers at Endeavor. And she was one of our assigned volunteers to work with our kids when we came there to work with the horses. She fell in love with our kids. Well, Linda is so connected to Broadway, to the Broadway Theater. She now takes us twice a year to the Lion King.
Oh, wow.
We sit second row center orchestra.
Oh, my gosh.
And we have a backstage tour with meeting the actors after it. And she takes us to this famous restaurant called Joe Allen. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's where all the actors go on Broadway. She's very connected to the theater, and we go tomorrow. I have a group going tomorrow.
Oh, wow. That's what a great, what a privilege.
It was because of this program where I got to take the kids to Endeavor, and she met our kids and fell in love and said, I have some ideas. Why don't we do this? Let's do this. She's just a dynamic person. Yeah. So you never know.
You never know. No.
And you reach, that's how you reach out to the community. and expand what Lincoln Hall can do.
So is it, just to understand, is the Duke thing of Edinburgh, is that no longer now? Is that
It's no longer
to
at
the other?
Lincoln Hall. We transitioned to the United Achievement Award.
Right,
Yes.
but following the similar model.
Similar model. It couldn't be exactly the same because they have rights to their program.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to kind of tweak it, which was fine. But
well, that would be great if you could send me a little background on that. And this is great stuff, and I can reach out to you. This was very helpful.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad.
And you have my number as well. If you think about something,
Yes.
and I'll be back on the East Coast on Wednesday. I'm out here partly on business and partly seeing my parents.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's always nice.
Yeah. So I grew up in LA.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well then
Yeah.
you must really enjoy being out there.
Well, it's really hot. Boy, I tell you, it's hot everywhere, I guess. It's hot.
It is.
I was hoping to leave that hot heat and humidity back home.
I don't think so.
But it's hot and humid here. I mean,
And now you have the fires.
we have horrible fires. So my parents are down in Orange County, and there's a fire going, pretty far from them. But I mean, just massive fire. It's California is on fire right now.
It's terrible. I see it on the news.
No, it's bad.
Oh my gosh.
Fact is that there's a section up in Redding, California, that the size of Connecticut, the entire state, is burning.
Oh.
That's how massive it's the largest fire. The Carr Fire has become the largest fire in California history.
Oh my gosh.
So it's just a bit of a what do they call it? Global warming, possibly.
Yes. And are your parents nervous?
No, well, they're not really in the path. So, and they're down near the beach, and
oh, okay.
they're down there. I don't know if you know the area, but they're near Dana Point. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's good.
They're about an hour north of San Diego.
Oh, okay.
It's not really where the fires are, but I mean you can see them
further north in wine country. Aren't there a lot of them in wine?
Yeah, up in that way, Mendocino, and up in that area, and Northern California, Redding, California. Yeah, it's terrible. Terrible.
It's horrible.
Well, you know what? I've got to jump here because I got a call with Pat Riley.
Okay, thanks, Dwayne.
But I appreciate
I'll
it.
Email you.
It sounds like you have
everything you need.
Seems like you have a great job.
I love it.
It's a great job, and these kids, they deserve a break, right?
Yeah, well, they deserve a chance.
A chance.
They deserve a chance. Yeah.
I mean, some of them come from really rough.
Terrible!
Origins.
Oh my gosh.
Origins.
The backgrounds are horrific.
Yeah, it's sad, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is, and you try to stop the cycle.
I know.
You don't want the cycle to continue. So
Exactly. All right,
I'll let you go, Dwayne.
Keep up the
Nice
great
to talk to you.
Likewise, tell Noble we talked, and
I sure will.
and keep up the great work.
Thank you so much, Dwayne.
All right, see you.
Appreciate it. I will.